Hello, treasure seekers and fortune finders, and welcome back to another exciting adventure from AG Coins and Pay Dirts. Today, we continue our series, Is There Good Wheat Cent Rolls on eBay? Now, we're doing something I generally don't like to do with wheat cent rolls on eBay. We're doing ones with Indian head enders. I have never ever done good with these with a dime or an Indian head ender ever. But as I was going through searching, I figured I needed a little variety in the channel. And I got going through this seller's feedback, and the seller has positive feedback 100% out of thousands of sales. Does that mean that these are going to be good? Absolutely not. But it gave me just a little faith in these rolls. And now these were not cheap rolls of wheat cents. So what did I pay per roll of these? Well, more than I would have liked to. I give $15.79 a piece for these wheat cent rolls. Taking in consideration, I did go through all of his feedback, and I did find where he has sold these and found no negative feedback. That does not mean that he hasn't had negative feedback, because eBay has got to where they're going to side with the seller and erase a lot of the negative comments. I'm not saying that's happened, but we will find out shortly. Now, I do like the shipping. They ship fairly quick, and they're in NF string and sun rollers. Anytime you see these rollers, do not guarantee unsearched. And this does not say unsearched. It has a pre-crimped in, and then you buy a little crimping tool, put it over it, twist it, crimps the ends, and makes it look professional. I use these rolls myself, but the seller did not call these unsearched rolls. It's just mixed rolls of Indian heads and rare steel cents. So, we're going to find out soon enough. His description was okay on these. I really don't much like the Indian head enders. So here's our description. One roll of wheat pennies with an Indian head cent showing. Each roll has an Indian head penny showing on one end and a wheat on the other. My rolls, I really do believe these are the best rolls on eBay. They are the real deal. I have had many amazing coins found in my rolls, and my feedback will verify that. These are very, very few sellers, if any, on eBay who have sold the amount of rolls that I have in the past year. There are even fewer sellers who actually offer professional crimp rolls also for the price, which is one of the lowest on eBay. You really can't go wrong. Give it a try. All I can guarantee is that in each roll I will have at least one Indian head penny, because it shows on the end. However, nearly every roll has multiple, and all coins will either be an Indian head or a wheat penny. Barber dimes, mercury dimes, and flying eagles are possible as well, but they are much more rare, as many rolls do not contain any. Showing by samples I have opened and feedback what I've received, you will be very happy with these rolls. So I really do like the feedback, although I think you need to be careful about giving feedback of having great stuff in your rolls, because if I don't find nothing great, then you've hyped your rolls over nothing. Although it does say there'll be a mix of 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And really, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a good mix of date and mint marks. To me, that signifies a good roll. I can't say exactly how many Indian heads or if we'll find anything other than Indian head. But if I can get a good mix, I'll be decently happy. Although I still might think these could be at least $5 cheaper. Yet again, I don't know what's in them. This is pre-thoughts and does not reflect what will come out of these rolls. And as for the professionally crimped, I done showed you how to do that. I use these rolls on all of my pennies. So this is your professional crimper, guys. Actually, a really nice crimper. It holds really well. I have nothing horrible to say about the wrappers, about the crimping. These are no bust wrappers. They're very durable, and I use them myself. I love the NS String and Son wrappers. So, with that being said, when we come back, we're going to break into a roll. Let's see what's in these, why don't you? I have my reservations about these already, but I will be fair and give an honest and accurate review. So, we'll see yous all back here, guys. All right, everybody. You ready for some fun? Let's break into roll number 1. And this does have a nice looking more type uncirculated wheat cent on the end. And I can tell you right now, he didn't crimp these as tight as I crimped mine. But they didn't bust open, so I'm not complaining. We have a nicer wheat on one end and Indian on the other. What year are we looking at? Looks like a 1950. Still a pretty nice looking wheat cent. Getting these open can be a little problem here. These are no bust rolls. They do bust, but I don't want to, if there is any nicer coins in here, I don't want to damage the coins. Because yet again, this is the first time I've ever done this seller, so. There's a stilly already. There's a few more stillies. Look at that. We did get a few stillies. Give me that Indian head. There we go. So, here's what we're looking at. Already, looks like we have some nice... if that don't stop at... Looks like we have some nice uncirculated. What have we got here? 1957. We're just digging out the pretty ones right now. 1952 Denver. Look here, guys. This was on the end. This was our wheat cent on the end. 1902. Philadelphia Mint. And these do have varieties too, so we will be checking for varieties on these. But that's not all. Look right here. We did get another Indian head cent. An older one too, in 1896. Oh, I'm very happy with that. Generally, when you see these rolls, you're only going to get 1900 sweet cents. So I'm really happy with that. Looks like we might have another nicer one here. 1948D. Already looking good on the variety of mint marks. Here we have a 1943. Unfortunately, it is a replate. But there is a double die reverse on these that I've been looking very diligently for. 1943. If I could find that double die on that one. Another 43. And should be 2 more 43s. Will we get a mint mark? 43. And 43 Denver. We did get a mint mark. So that's awesome. Now let's go through some of our wheat cents. Make sure we have no more Indian head in here. Nope. So let's kindly go through these. But we do have another BU. What do we have here? That was the 1950 Ender. 1956 Denver. 1956. 1919. Awesome. 1919 San Francisco. Even more awesome. 1946. So far, a decent little roll. Not complaining whatsoever so far. 1935, 1938, 46, 1917, San Francisco. That's cool. Not a semi-key date, but not exactly a bad coin either. 1953 Denver, 1926, 1930, 1951 Denver, 1935. Just a few more and we'll come back with roll number 2. So far, I'm really happy. It would be nice to find a variety, but we are getting a good mix. 1920, 1939S, 56, 53 Denver, 40, and a 56. So I'll get these separated out, guys. So far, really happy with the mix. It's looking really good. What will roll 2 hold? As soon as I get these sorted, we'll come back again for the next roll. We'll see you back here soon, treasure seekers. Alright guys, y'all ready for roll number 2? Roll number 1 had quite a nice mix. I'm not completely unsatisfied. So now, let's see what roll number 2 has. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of the big ones. I do check for the double dies. No 1941s or 42s, no real 36s, no 1917s. But when we come back, we definitely can check for some RPMs because we did get quite a bit of Denver Mint coins and San Francisco. So if nothing else, we'll check the 43s, the few little ones we have, and then we will check. Oh, look at that. All right, right off, guys. I really see some niceness in this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's an Indian head. Here's an Indian head. Here's an Indian head. Here's an Indian head. Look at that. 4 Indian heads. Did we have another one? Look. Now, unfortunately, this one has some environmental damage. But I will soak this one in olive oil. I can definitely get this off. What I'll do is soak it in some olive oil. And the only way I will soak it is if we have a repunch date or something of that nature. But there's another Indian head. Do we have one more? Doesn't look like it. Look at that, guys. 5 Indian heads, 1 roll. I am extremely happy about that. So what have we got? A 1899, 1906, and now I doubt these will have any mint marks. We have 1907. Someone has definitely drilled that one. So the condition on these is not the best. 1896 and 1902. Not the best condition, but we did get 5 Indian heads. We know here we have another 1943 Stilly. This one being a Denver Mint and another replate. We have a 1943 Philly. Another 1943, and this is the problem with these, is environmental damage. And the reason people replay is because of the damage, but I can't complain too much. I'm not the most excited about these Stillies anyway. They're fairly common, although there is a few double die reverses I'm looking for just for my 70/70 type set. So here we have a 1955. A nice little BU. Another. This one has seen circulation. This one is a details grade. It has been cleaned. If you can see the scratches on this, this is a clean coin. But we have a 1948. A 1957 Denver. A 1944. And I do believe more than likely this one just has circulation. Nope, it's been cleaned. 1956. Now to go through some of the regular coins, I do like that we got 5 Indian heads in this. And yet again, we have another environmental damage, 1952. A good soak in olive oil will take care of this. I won't worry about soaking this one unless it has a double die on it. Now then I would soak it, but for a regular 1952, I'll throw it in circulation with some of my other pennies and let somebody else find it. Somebody that's not as blessed as me. 1955, 42. I really like the 40s. 1929. 1953 Denver. 1917. And that looks like that may be a Philly. Could we have another double die? 1941, yet another one I searched for the double dies on. So, looking really good on this one. 1953 Denver, 1939, 57 Denver, 1940. Just a few more. It doesn't seem like we have any of the really older ones in the teens. 1930. 36 Denver, 40, 37, one I look for, 1918 in pretty nice shape, and another 1940. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and get these separated out with the rest of them, and when we come back, we won't have a lot to search for double dies, but we will look for some more of the RPMs. That is something else I do search for, definitely, is RPMs. So we'll check those. We'll have a little fun. Hopefully we'll find something. So far, I am happy on the mix of these coins. So we'll see you back here soon, treasure seekers. All right, guys, we are back once again. And now I'm not going to bore you with the tedious work of me going through each one of these and letting you know exactly what I'm looking for, because there's so many mint marks and different variations on this one that I'm looking for. It's a little here and a little there, but I can assure you I know exactly what I'm looking for. And if I find something, I'll be sure to let you know. First, we're going through the Indian head cents. What we're looking for is RPDs and MPDs. And look, already, oh, I can't believe it. This actually looks like a RPD, a repunched 8. We have a slight line in the 1, and then right there in the 8. Unfortunately, because of the damage, I cannot call this one. I wouldn't, and I can't. Although it does look pretty decent. So let's move on to the next one. To the 1902. And I'm definitely not seeing an RPD on this one. And what I'm checking for the MPDs is most of the misplaced dates are in the dentiles. By the way, RPD is repunched date. I'm not seeing either on this 1902, although it is a nicer looking coin. Do we have a slight, die break in that one? Not a cud. Next to the 1907. No RPD. No misplaced date. $18.99. Yet again, I'm not saying nothing, and I couldn't even say an MPD on this one. Now to the 1906, and if this one has one, I will definitely soak this one in olive oil. And fortunately, and I hate to say it, fortunately it doesn't. Because even after soaked in the olive oil, it will have divots all over the coin. So thankfully, that one didn't have one I'm looking for. Now to the 1902. No indications of a RPD or MPD. Last but certainly not least is the 1896. Nothing going here. So nothing good on the Indian heads. Now let's start checking for some repunch mint marks and the Wheaties. And yet again, these will be very easy to spot. I'm going to start going through a little faster. That way we've not got a 30-minute video. Nope. Nope. Although that looks like a little die break there. Do we have a double die? Nope. Nope. And if we do find a repunch mint mark, nope. Y'all will for certain be able to tell it if we find a good one. Nope. I'll go back through on my own time and really search these really good to see if we've got anything good in any of these. We're doing just a quick check now, just to see what we can see. So far, nothing at all. And yet again, nothing going. Now, let's get into some ones that actually have really nice repunch mint marks. If we have any on these, any of the nicer ones, they will definitely be visible. Come on, give us something good, baby. And what have we got here? This looks like it might be a minor. Let me get my... We do have a repunch mint mark here. We have a split in the serif, and see how the thickness is different. We do have an RPM here. This is not a major RPM. So I will definitely set this to the side, guys. I will go back later and identify it. I can tell you it is not one of the major ones I generally search for. But it is an RPM. It's just what I consider a minor RPM. Therefore, look at the B in this. Look. Die crack in the B. Nope. Nope. Can't believe we did find us an RPM though. Look at the die crack in the date. Yeah, guys, I'm so sorry. I really geek out over going through these coins. You never know what you're going to find. Usually when people search wheat cents, they do not search for varieties. At least most people, because I have found some really nice varieties in wheat cents. They do search for key dates. But most of the people do not go through and do what I'm doing and search for varieties. Now on to 45. So this is one of my loves. And as y'all have seen before, I've done really well. Now let's move on to our 1941. Do we have a double die? And we do not. Yet again, this is another one. This one and the 42 are both ones I search for. Nothing going on this 42. Real quick, check the reverse, see if we have a DDR. No, we do not. Last 42. Do we have one of the ones I search? And unfortunately, we do not. Do we have the DDR? Nope. On to the 43s. These will all be looking for DDRs, except for the Denver Marks. I will look for an RPM. I don't ever expect to find an RPM. And this is what I was afraid of. The ones with environmental damage, you'll never be able to make nothing out. Maybe we can on this one. I can, but it is definitely not a double die. Here is one of our plated replate steels. We don't have an RPM. Do we have the double die? No, we do not. Not that I know of. I may have to check that one out more thoroughly. But even if it is, it's not one that I really search for. So, 1943, the next replate. Huh. So let's check for the double die reverse. Oh, now we have a double die. All right. So, you see the thickness on the bottom of the E here, guys? You see how the period in between is kindly split? Look at the thickness on the P, the thickness on the L, on the U. Look at the thickness on the R. This is definitely a double die. Is this the FS801 I'm looking for? See, look at this, guys. This one's very easily distinguished. Look at that U. You can actually see the split there in the bottom of the U. You can see the doubling here. But no, we do not have the FS801. Okay, so let me do a quick search. It's either the DDR number 2 or the DDR number 3. Check the die markers. DDR number 2 will have a small die break in the bottom of the bust, right about there, and I am not seeing it whatsoever. DDR number 3 will have a huge die crack on the T. There it is. DDR number 3. See this die crack on the T? This major die crack. I do believe there's a die break in the right wheat cent. There it is. There's the die break. And I believe there is also a die right here. Right there in the left wheat cent. The major die break in the T. Look at the die crack that runs all the way down. And then a major die crack right here on the right wheat cent into the rim. There's also a small inclusion that runs from the T, from the break. And there should be one that runs right up here. This is most certainly 100% a DDR number 3. If it wasn't replate, what an awesome find. But the replate really kills the value on that. Still, to find in an eBay wheat cent roll, I'm not complaining. No DDR? That was really cool. I am really happy to have found that. That is awesome. Nope. So guys, I've been doing so good in finding these double dies. And you can't even see nothing. That it's just completely eat off. If it was something, I wouldn't be able to tell. Last but not least, in the Stillies. Huh. Let's see. No, die markers don't match up. It's really hard to tell on this one. We do have some thickening, but I believe it's just metal movement. So I don't think we found another one. Let's move on. We have a 1935 here, one that y'all see me search for quite a few times. So you should know the markers on it. And no go on it. Next, we have our 36s. Yet another easy one to be able to tell the double dies. What a clean looking strike on this 1936. Yet again, nothing going on it. One more 36 to check. I believe we've just got metal movement there. Yep, nothing on the 36. Let's check the 37s real quick. And unfortunately, this one has been damaged. At first, I thought it might have been a die clip, but it is not. Right there, see the damage? There's more damage up here. Right there. See how the rim tapers? I thought that might have been a slight die clip, but it's not because it didn't go all the way through the rim and it's not raised. Next, 1937. And yet another no-go. Next, we have a 1917. Can we get another? I doubt that, guys. No, not at all. Boy, you know how nice that would be to get another 1917. So, guys, that's really it. I will have to sit down and go through these all by hand. I'm going to really search them good. But we for sure got a 1943 DDR number 3. And we for sure got a 1957 RPM. Now, when I come back, I'll let you know everything that I got. If we pull anything extra out of this, I will definitely let you know which two these are. And we'll do the final wrap up on these. Guys, thank you for sticking with me. Another double die, guys. Third review, third double die. Or fourth review, third double die. Oh, I've got more of these to do. Can we keep it rolling? All right. We'll see you back at the wrap up. All right, treasure seekers, we are back for the final time with a wrap up. Are you ready to get to some numbers? First off, we found 7 wheat cents. Now, a few of them I've got pulled out because of the environmental damage. There was nothing special, so I actually threw them back in circulation. I was going to soak the one in olive oil before I throw it in circulation, but I've been throwing my reject wheat cents in circulation. I know coin roll hunters love to find the Indian head cents, so hopefully somebody will get a major kick out of finding that in circulation. You know, it's just, I have quite a few. I have a lot of detail grade ones, so I would rather pass the buck. Now, the 1957 is definitely a D RPM. It is D over D tilde CCW. I could not find the number. I checked copper coins, I checked Verity Vista, and I checked Wexler's. I checked all the die stages. I do believe this is closer to a number 30, but a later die stage than what they have marked. So I could send it in to Chuck Daughtry at Copper Coins and have it confirmed, or if it is a new die state, have my name put on it. Although it's only a tilde CCW. It isn't a major RPM. Therefore, I'm just going to leave it as is. I do know it's a D over D tilde. So, to me, that's plenty good enough. I'm happy with that. It is a variety. Even though it is a minor variety, it's still a variety. I actually have a whole roll of tilde CCW 1957. So, but now this one is in mint state condition. So, I did put it in a flip. I have a whole row. Then we found a 1943 DDR number 3. It is replate. That is 100% positive a replate. It's 3 reversed to class 6. So this is the reverse number 2 and a 6 class spread. Very happy with this. This is one of the ones I've been looking for. I'd love to find the 801 even in a replate. This one, however, is a minor double die. It isn't one of the ones that's considered major. Even though it is a class 6, it is a minor and it is a replay. But I'm still extremely happy to have found that. As y'all know, we've done, I think this is the 4th or 5th, and we've either found 4 or 5 double dies. Just one short double die of having the whole run. I've done extremely well on my eBay wheat cent lots. Now, when I give you the numbers, guys, take in consideration, I don't think every roll is going to have a variety in it. Therefore, when you're looking at buying these rolls and you're looking at my reviews, please take in consideration that there's a good possibility that you're not going to get this. Although, you know you'll get wheat cents and Indian head cents. Unfortunately, the Indian heads had a little more condition issues than I'd like to see. There was some drilling on some environmental damage on others. Although there's still Indian head cents, I'm not going to complain because the description was right on. So let's go into a little bit of the numbers. This is wheat cent rolls with Indian head enders, a rare steel mix. The seller is Collectible Notes. The cost per roll $15.79 with free shipping. I ordered this for $4.21, received it for $9.21. For the all-important numbers. Packaging, received a 4 or 5. When I received it, it was in a very well-taped bubble wrap mailer. It was bubble wrapped inside, and then they was packed in the NF String and Sun wrappers. I love those wrappers. They're very durable. I love them. Them are probably my favorite. Shipping, got a 4 of a 5. I received it in 4 days if you take off the Sunday. Mix of date and mint mark. As y'all saw, we actually got a really nice mix of dates and mint marks. Quite a few different eras, quite a few different years, quite a few different mint marks. So it received an 8 of a 10. Condition, another 8 of 10. I found 2 horrible Indian head pennies and 2 horrible wheat cents. Out of 2 rolls, I am not complaining whatsoever. I do expect the Indian heads to be in a little worse condition because in higher conditions, these things fetch good money. Even some of the 1908s and 1902s, 1901s, in better condition, they can command a little more money. So I did expect these to be in a little worse condition. So it got an 8 of a 10. If I hadn't had the 2 that I actually had to throw back, I would have given it a 10 of a 10, guys. But because I had to release some in circulation, I did drop the description. He gets an 8 of 10. The only reason he don't get a 10 of 10, even though I love his description, is because I'm not sure if everybody's going to get a variety, whether it be 1 or 2. Therefore, his description is right on, and I do believe he's a good seller with 100% feedback and thousands of these rolls sold, and I couldn't find a bad feedback at all. I believe he has a pretty decent roll. Variety or value, yet again, he's going to get an 8 of 10. Now, I would have loved it to have been $3 cheaper. $3 cheaper would have been a 10 out of 10. We did get 2 minor varieties, no major varieties. So to me, to equal out the value, right around $12.75 would have been just absolutely perfect. Would have received a 10 out of 10. Now, I am not complaining whatsoever. His total score out of 50 received a 40. That is a good wheat cent roll. Now, take in consideration, guys, I buy 2 rolls. Always buy 2 rolls. It's easier on me, especially doing a review. That way I can kindly compare and make sure that I'm not just throwing up a good roll or a bad roll. I get a good comparison off of each roll, comparing them to each other. This is one I'd like to go back and do again one day just to see. But as it stands right now, the rolls I received, the total score being 40 of 50. Please Don't take this that your results will be the same as mine, guys. These are wheat cent rolls. They're put together. You will not have the same results I did. Every roll will be different. Then again, you could get that flying eagle cent. It's a gamble. The thing is the review you've seen today, would you want to gamble $15 on one of these rolls? That's what you have to ask yourself. Knowing that you might not get this. You might not get a roll with 5 Indian head cents in it. If you remember, my first roll didn't. So, is the gamble worth it to you? To me, it absolutely was. Even without the 5 wheat cents or the 5 Indian head cents, if I would have just got this one, I would have been happy. Would have been okay if we'd just got this one. If I would have got neither, I wouldn't have been happy at all. I would say it would need to be around the $8 roll. And I'd probably still just be right under the okay and not happy mark with that. So in closing, guys, please use these reviews as educational and entertainment purposes only because of the nature of these. Watch my review, take away the good, and ask yourself, do I want to personally gamble $15 and knowing that there's a very good chance I don't get these? Although I don't know what's in the rest of these rolls. I can only do the reviews on what I receive. And for this review, it was definitely a good 2 rolls. With that in closing, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed making it. We've got another couple of these coming up in the future. I'm going to try to get in a coin hunt. Of course, it's going to be pennies. That's all I can afford right now. But until next adventure, guys, may your pans be full, your smiles be golden, your clouds be silver-lined, and your pennies be double die. We'll see you on the next adventure, treasure seekers.